Taxi woman, on the art of teaching writing. Ideally, it begins like this. 3 or so line up to get into my taxi. Cut rate fare, paid in advance. But when they get in, I twist around, stretch my arm along the back vinyl seat, ask them where they want to go, and even nudge them for directions. I turn back, gaze at them in the rearview mirror, and smile. Here we go. But instead of releasing the handbrake, I get out, open the passenger door, pull one out, put her into the driver's seat. I take her seat in the back and tell her, "You'll be doing the driving yourself, even if you don't know where you're going. You'll find your way simply by pressing the gas." Some of them freeze up, grip the wheel, but most say, "Oh, okay, I get it," and then take the stick shift in hand. My taxi's a standard, so they have to be at one with the speed and the rhythm of their words. Most come to enjoy my backseat commentary, warning about cliched sign and wordy routes. One more block of Lover's Lane and your license is revoked. She slows down, thinks a moment, flips a Yui onto Joy Road. Then other passengers catch on. They join in like a Greek chorus. No more self-pity. A crown of thorn gets riding nowhere. She swerves into a cutting-edge trajectory. Once the driver grooves into a dramatic buildup, she'll make us catch our breath by downshifting into a sharp but smooth turn where we least expect it. And we end up totally elsewhere. Places like a drag karaoke at Jack London's Last Chance Bar, or an abandoned water tower filled with unexploded love letters. A trail of wilting flower petals from Oakland to Baghdad. When the taxi rides over, the driver usually jots note for an entire book as drops of anxiety fall from her brows and rose petals issue from her scribbling fingers. There's nothing like being the agent of your own education. If she decides to leave us, we pick up another passenger. We smile our wide-lipped smiles, shove them into the back seat, and one of the initiates who knows the routine jumps behind the steering wheel. It's great, but then of course there are sometimes the problem children. One, like the man in his 60s, he shows up in 1920s racing goggles and drives endlessly through streets of foreclosed suburban housing developments at 15 miles per hour. He catcalls phantom women, even though for the past 15 years he's wanted sex only with men. Or then there's the exotic dancer who's really a great driver. She defies time and cruises us down the Mission in 1967. But every so often she pulls up a completely stereotypical character, makes everybody car sick. Then there are the young ones. The young ones with their maps. Their goddamn maps. Like they need someone to guide their pen through this world. When I rip the maps from their hands and tell them to look ahead, look around, open the doors of perception, too many of them get squeamish. They pull out an iPhone and Google EarthQuest. So of course, when they aren't looking, when they're going 30 miles per hour, splat, they run over William S. Burroughs. The smell of blood and alcohol fills the interior and everyone jumps out. But then again, Some of them, they're just so fabulous. They go against my best advice. They do something so completely great. For instance, the 12-mile-per-hour runga. Okay, I guess I'm a little bit old-fashioned in thinking you have to come to a complete stop in order to change drivers. Complete stop, new piece. But one of these young agile scriveners did a 5-7-5 block turn for a couplet of 7 blocks each line, then one slivered out and the other slivered into the driver's seat with no change in speed, just an occasional slight swerve to tease our thoughts. You know, it's really the punishment of success that drives me crazy when it comes down to it. I pull in early into my taxi stop and there's already 48 people shivering in the fog. Some come in pairs like their world's ending and I'm their later day Noah's Ark. Well, you know, in some cases I guess I am. Perhaps it's a rise in unemployment. Others say the cuts in education. As the long day wears on, the hands of the world clock chase each other across my face and keep me from looking behind the taillights ahead as desperate backseat riders spout piss and vinegar. I swat those clock hands as if they were buzzing mosquitoes and try to regain a few seconds to rethink apple leaves just sprouting. But when they don't stop, not even after the last drop-off, not until hours later when my blank mind stares into cool darkness. Then, sometimes I think of those who found the seeds to writing deep within their entrails. The seeds push forth stems up and up until rose blooms sprout from their throats and fill the air. Their words push back a wolf's breaths of this valueless world. Their aroma has transformed traumatized puppy killers into lyrical poets and tyrannical mythomaniacs into postmodern storytellers. Other times, in those nights, I dream I'm driving alone at the edge of town between the upscale, pseudo-sustainable shopping malls and the railroad tracks, where inevitably someone's car has flipped, wheels still spinning in the air. I go to work. I try to knock their words together. They lie staring at the stars, words spurned across the red asphalt. Because they have no ideas which words to gather up and which to leave to be pulverized by traffic, I spend hours sorting. By dawn, I've given them back just enough speed to roll over their engine. They slowly drive into the rising sun. But then I dream of those who get addicted. They come to this corner of the city to waste my time flipping their cars and watching the wheels spin. When I yell, the permanent revolution comes from writing, they get flustered, slash their tires. So I hand them a strong needle with thick red thread and turn away until they sew up their gashes and drive themselves away. But when I turn around, there's more, in a line stretching beyond the freeway overpass. They're waiting for me to say, yes, you too have words. Instead, I turn back and I scrawl across my taxi's hood. I'm made of clay. I'm made of holy laughter. I'm made of bones that will vibrate with everyone's song for 1,000,000 years. And one day, a far-off scientist will hold my quivering rib bones and wonder,